Showtime!
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats.
Showtime!
Please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Showtime!
Let the magic begin.
Meta AI protein generation model and its impact on biotech. You want to take us through what's going on here?
Yeah, this is super, super cool. So this is where I see the benefit for machine learning, or AI as everyone likes to call it. So there's a new AI system called ESM3, which is poised to revolutionize protein design, which is critical to the body. So it's been created by scientists formerly at Meta. So ESM3 is being hailed as one of the largest AI ML models ever aimed at biology. And it was trained on a massive database of over 2.7 billion protein sequences and structures, which allows it to generate entirely new protein designs according to specific criteria. So the goal of this is to make protein engineering as easy as using, let's say, a search engine, right? So what the creators did was they tested ESM3 by redesigning, I don't know if you guys know about the famous green fluorescent protein that makes jellyfish glow. So what they did was they prompted ESM3 to create novel proteins containing the key fluorescent components. So out of nearly 200 designs that came up out of this, that were output, several were as bright as the natural green fluorescent protein, or GFP. One called ESM-GFP matched the structure of natural proteins, but had a wildly different sequence, which is super, super cool. So the designers say this represents 500 million years of simulated evolution. Okay? So, but the hype aside, ESM3 demonstrates the potential to artificially design useful proteins. So what the hell does this mean? What's the applications, right? So possible applications include custom enzymes, antibodies for medicines, and even biosensors, which is really cool. Now, the interface allows users to simply describe the desired functions in natural language. Then the ESM3 churns through possibilities to output tailored proteins, which could accelerate discovery and sustainable solutions. Obviously, there's some ethical risks of misuse, so there's going to need a lot of vigilant governance for this. But the ability to massively expand protein diversity could be transformative. But obviously, there's a lot of challenges to overcome. The thing to think about, or the underlying, is that most designs fail to fold properly, so indicating that there's room for improvement. And we talked about folding proteins in a previous podcast, but
Yep.
Specialized lab will be needed to create and test the proteins. But this is super, super, super cool.
Yeah, this is very interesting. How might this technology improve medicines or human health for the future? Could it design antibodies or enzymes? We can see that it potentially helping discover new drugs and stuff, but
Yeah, there's significant potential here. So the AI could be used to design new antibody structure tailored to bind to specific disease-causing agents or cells. This could enable more targeted and potent therapies. It could also design novel enzymes to catalyze important chemical reactions for drug synthesis or breakdown, which could enable better drug delivery methods or systems to clear harmful compounds in the body. The other thing is that the AI may be able to create protein-based sensors that can detect biomarkers for diagnosing conditions earlier or enabling better disease monitoring, which is super, super cool. So enzymes could also be designed for synthesizing complex drug compounds more efficiently and sustainably. But this is cool. The flexibility of the design process could surpass limitations of natural protein evolution to create therapeutic proteins not possible currently. This is unprecedented. This is really cool. Yeah. And so this is one of those, we talk about a lot of stuff that we've covered is theoretical or things like that. This is actually being done, which is awesome.
Yeah, it says pharmaceutical companies spend billions of dollars, which we know, and years of research to develop new drugs. AI generated proteins could drastically reduce both time and cost involved in identifying new drug candidates, paving the way for faster,
Yeah.
more efficient treatments. So we talked about how it can help humans and health. What about the environment? Is there a way
Yeah.
to create sustainable new proteins?
Yeah. So one thing to note though, and this is going to be controversial, but I hate to say it, but pharmaceutical companies are in the business of keeping you sick and you staying sick. That's how they make their money, right? So I don't know if they're going to embrace this. They might, because it's going to be cheaper for them to create new drugs. But yeah, there's some ethical things. But yeah, essentially, pharmaceutical companies are just in it to make money, and they're just like any company, but they make more money the longer you're sick. But anyways, let's dive into this question. Potential environmental benefits. So what this could do is it could design some cool novel enzymes for breaking down waste plastics and recycling them into new materials and chemicals, which could reduce plastic pollution. It could create improved enzymes for digesting plant biomass into biofuels like ethanol in a more efficient manner. So this sustainable energy source could reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Also, there could be new proteins tailored to extract rare earth metals from electronic waste, which could enable cleaner e-waste recycling and reduce the need for mining. Also, enzymes could degrade contaminants and remove pollutants from water sources. Proteins could sequester excess atmospheric carbon dioxide, which is a huge problem at large scales, which could potentially combat climate change. Also, biosensors for detecting toxins or pollutants could be designed to improve environmental monitoring, and they could optimize proteins for nutrition and growth, which could promote sustainable agriculture with fewer resource imports. So, a lot of interesting, novel potentials for this.
Do we see the costs going down? Like, imagine right now it's expensive only at a lab level, but at some point, we've seen about printing 3D DNA printers. Do we get down to the point where we can democratize protein engineering so somebody in this basement could, theoretically run these tools and
Yeah, actually, they did release a scaled down open source version that academics can experiment with. Obviously, it's far more limited, but at full power, just like any AI or LLM, the computational power is massive for the training process, which means only large companies have access to the full capacity. But running and using the AI models, although it requires high performance cloud computing, most universities could access a scaled down version of it. But so the wet lab facilities and equipment needed to synthesize and test the proteins are also super costly and time consuming to establish, right? So I think as the technology matures or competitors come up, they could provide maybe a cloud-based design for services or synthesize protein products for purchase, which could improve accessibility. Obviously, open source advances and decreasing cloud computing costs could eventually make the modeling capabilities more available for typical labs. But for now, it's limited.
So this becomes a little scary when it's promising for all sorts of ways, but it becomes scary at a biological level when, is biology becoming more like computer science? We just programming different things to change us or life versus,
Yep.
Yeah,
it is, because think about CRISPR, right? CRISPR, you can edit DNA using CRISPR, right? Which is scary. But this is, yes, everything comes back to technology. Everything you think medical, you don't even think medical anymore. You think med tech. Agriculture, you don't really think agriculture too much. You think ag tech. Just like this is biotech. So yeah, since the emergence of protein design AI, it does suggest that biology is becoming more programmable and engineering based. Biology, obviously, it has traditionally progressed through painstaking experimentation and accumulating a lot of empirical knowledge. The complexity of living systems obviously make rational design difficult. But cool thing about AI is that now it allows us to leverage massive data sets, learning algorithms, and computational power to then design new proteins and pathways. So instead of what we like to call sporadic discovery through trial and error, we can now pursue targeted engineered solutions to define problems. So we're shifting from a descriptive observational science to more of a predictive design-based engineering discipline, essentially. But obviously, there's still a lot of challenges in implementing design solutions in the messy reality of biology, but the parallels to programming are pretty clear, I think.
So where do you see this going next?
Yeah, I don't,
Like we talk about it going to agriculture, we talk about going to medicine, we talk about going to this.
Yeah.
Like what is the field that's really going to take this to the next level? Like that's really going to glom onto
that's a
this.
good question. I would say, well, it all depends, right? It all depends on where the money comes from, essentially, because you could talk about food science, you could talk about pretty much any avenue. You could talk food science, agriculture, textiles, sustainable energy, material science, biotech, which covers a lot of different things. But it's where's the money going to be made, right? So there's a lot of different pathways that this could take. And what I'm hoping is that there's going to be other competition that sparks up and then specific focus on specific areas so that we could expand quickly the fields that this could impact. Even one thing I didn't even talk about, which is my love, is hydrogen. This could help with hydrogen production, right? So really, it's really unlimited as to what fields or what disciplines that this could help innovate.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think in agriculture, just as we grow and we need more and we need our food to have more protein or more this or more that, we can now design it to be different. So yeah, but that's also scary at the same time. I really like where this is going. Any final words on, this game-changing? No,
but now that you talk about that, the one thing I didn't think of is how is this any different from genetically modifying things? As far as we'll have to do a deep dive into that. But I think obviously this could be safer, but I'll have to do a deep dive into that. But that's my final thoughts on that. I'll leave you guys with that.
Wow, that was amazing. That is all.